Joined with a congressional candidate, a Democrat from Florida. Her name is Sheila McCormick, and her parents actually immigrated to the U.S. from Haiti. So I know that a lot of people in your district are upset about what you're seeing. Let me ask you first, just for your response about what you're seeing in Del Rio and what you're seeing in Port-au-Prince as well.
It's heartbreaking, as we're seeing after an assassination and then an earthquake, and then you have asylum seekers who are coming to the border and being treated terribly. We see pictures of people with babies trying to cross the water. We see agents with whips grabbing people. It's inhumane what we're seeing.
So what do you think needs to be done?
We're just asking for the Biden administration to apply the law, allow them to have a chance in seeking asylum, allow them to have a hearing. This expulsion is ridiculous. This expulsion, especially in these circumstances and the way they're being treated, it is definitely heartbreaking. And this is not the promise that the Haitian people believed in, Haitian Americans, when we voted for the Biden administration. We wanted a fair chance. All we're doing is asking for the law to be applied to us equitably and not for us to be put on a plane and sent away. Title 42 shouldn't be applicable right now in this moment. We have vaccines, we have tests available. It's just unconscionable that everything that Haitian people have gone through, that they're being put on planes and sent away. Some of these Haitians they haven't lived in Haiti in the last 10 years, but they're sending them all back to Haiti. Today we had 6 flights with 135 people on those flights who were denied a hearing.
So I'm curious about the timing on all of this. Sheila, how is it that 10,000, 15,000 people who have ties to Haiti all ended up at the same place on the southern border in Del Rio, far away from their homeland?
Well, we knew it was coming. With the assassination of the president, the country went through so much instability at that time. And then compounding that with an earthquake that they couldn't recover from. There's no way you can actually exist in Haiti right now or survive, especially with all the threats of the gangs taking over certain streets.
Many of them were in South and Central America at the time. They hadn't been, to your point, in Haiti for 10 years.
Yes, there's a few of them who have been away from the country for years, but there's a good number who did come from Haiti. And what we're asking is that they get a fair chance. And there's been a lot of turbulence going on in the other countries where we see discrimination, where Haitians aren't being treated fairly, even in South America. So them coming to the United States, seeking the beacon of hopes and all the promises that the United States has made to other countries, why deny it to us? Why deny it to Haitian people? Why is it the home of the free, except for if you're Haitian? We have to confront that evil past that we've had with the Haitian community and Haitian people.
What have you learned about why some are being returned to Haiti and others are being allowed to stay in the U.S.?
Well, there's no clear reason why I know some are getting processed and they're getting a hearing, but a good number, they're just packing on planes and sending them away. And that's what we're asking for it to end. Why is it that the selection process isn't fair? There's no random or no real reason for selecting them. And it seems like they're trying to make it a quiet problem to ship it away when we have to open up our doors. We saw that more than 96,000 Afghans are promised to come in. Why is that not equitable for the Haitian community? Why do Haitians need to be turned around? Why are Haitians being beaten? Why are we being yelled at? Why is this treatment acceptable to Haitian people?
Well, the Afghan situation is different. I think we've all seen that there were promises made to them who helped us in the war. They do have special immigration visas. Some in this group down in Del Rio, I guess, don't. But I guess that leads to the question, why is there so much uncertainty around the policy, do you think, right now?
I think at the root of it, it's always been discrimination. We saw before when they had a mass exodus with Cuban Americans and Haitians, there were rules that were applied inequitably. And at this point, everyone's standing and we're saying that we want equal rights for Black migrants, especially Haitians. There's never been any clear rule of why this is happening. And right now, the U.S. has to stand up. The Biden administration has to stand up for all the Haitian Americans who voted for the president to make his promises to us true, that he will treat us equally and allow us to have a chance at asylum. That is all we're asking for. Give us a hearing, declare a national emergency, allow for there to be military there to protect the people who are there, allow for them to have their hearing, allow them to have a chance to articulate that they do have a credible fear. Give them a humanitarian parole. Do something for us because it's only fair.
Democratic congressional candidate from Florida, Sheila McCormick. Thank you, Sheila, so much for your time. We appreciate you joining us.